Thomas is remembered as the disciple who doubted the resurrection, but that label hides an uncomfortable detail. Thomas was not the only disciple who struggled to believe. When Jesus first appeared to the others, the doors were locked and the group was frightened. According to John, Jesus showed them his hands and his side before they rejoiced. Luke describes the disciples as startled, terrified, and troubled by doubts until Jesus invited them to look at his wounds and touch him. Thomas simply was not there, so when the others told him, "We have seen the Lord," he refused to accept their report without seeing the wounds himself. That response was stubborn, but was it uniquely faithless, or was Thomas asking for the same evidence the others had already received? The difference may be smaller than the nickname Doubting Thomas suggests. John introduces Thomas as one of the 12, also called the twin. Earlier in the Gospel, when Jesus decided to return to dangerous territory near Jerusalem, Thomas told the others to go with him, even if it meant dying with him. That does not sound like a man who lacked loyalty. It sounds like someone prepared for death, but completely unprepared for resurrection. And that may explain his reaction. Thomas had watched the movement collapse. Jesus had been executed publicly. The disciples were hiding behind locked doors. Then Thomas returned and heard an impossible claim from frightened friends who only days earlier had also failed to understand what was happening. His demand was extreme. He wanted to see the nail marks and place his hand into Jesus' side. Some interpreters view this as more than honest uncertainty. Thomas was not merely asking a question, he was setting conditions for belief and rejecting the testimony of people he knew. That is the strongest case against him. But John also gives Thomas something that his nickname usually leaves out. A week later, Jesus returned. He did not avoid Thomas, shame him publicly, or remove him from the group. Instead, he offered exactly the evidence Thomas had demanded. The passage never clearly says Thomas actually touched the wounds. It says he saw Jesus, heard the invitation, and answered with one of the strongest declarations in the Gospel, "My Lord and my God." The disciple remembered for doubt becomes the disciple who speaks the clearest confession. Then Jesus says that those who believe without seeing are blessed. That line does challenge Thomas. John is preparing later readers who will not receive a physical appearance in a locked room. They will depend on testimony. Still, the scene is not simply faith versus doubt. The other disciples believed after Jesus appeared and showed them his wounds. Thomas believed after Jesus appeared and offered the same evidence. His resistance was stronger, but the path was similar. Even Matthew ends his resurrection account with an unsettling sentence. The 11 disciples saw Jesus and worshipped him, yet some still doubted or hesitated. The text does not identify them, it only refuses to present the first witnesses as people untouched by uncertainty. So why did Thomas receive the permanent label? Probably because John gives his doubt a voice. Thomas says aloud what the others expressed through fear, confusion, locked doors, and hesitation. His refusal is specific, memorable, and easy to name. But the story doesn't end by naming him a doubter. It ends with Thomas believing. The overlooked point is not that Thomas did nothing wrong. He resisted reliable testimony and demanded proof on his own terms. But he was not the only disciple who needed help crossing the distance between crucifixion and resurrection. Thomas became famous for the moment before he believed. John may want us to remember what happened after it.